I'm going to have to update the key, but you're not going to see this answer alone in the key. You'll see another answer, probably a simpler answer. I'll go through the work, though. And so I'm going to write it down. And the way to write that down is, let's take a look at it. It's number 7, right? So it's x to the 2/3 minus 2y, and that's going to be the 5/2 power. The first thing I would do is factor out x to the 2/3. You get 1 minus 2y over x to the 2/3. And this is being raised to the 5/2 power. I'm going to simplify it a tiny little bit. And that's going to be, let's see, 5/3. X to the 5/3. And let me write this expansion down now. It's going to be 1 plus minus 2y x to the 2/3. And this is being raised to the 5/2 power. All right, let's write it down. I'll try to do the best I possibly can. X to the 5/3 times, all right, we got to expand it now, don't we? That's going to be 1 plus 5/2 times minus 2y x to the 2/3. Let's do the next term. 5/2. Then 5/2 minus 1 will be 3/2. Over 2, that's 2 factorial, minus 2y x to the 2/3 squared. Let's keep going. At least 5 terms, right? Okay, let's take a look here. 5/2, 3/2. It's going down by 2, so 1/2. Because on the bottom, 3 factorial, which is 6. What do you get here? Minus 2y x to the 2/3 squared. Let's put the next term down. 5/2, 3/2, 1/2, and then you're going down by 2 on the top, so minus 1/2. It's going to be minus 2y x to the 2/3, and that's going to be to the, I'm sorry, this is 3rd power here. This is going to be the 4th power. Over what? 4 factorial, which is 24. And this goes on and on and on. Of course, I can't go on and on and on. I got to stop somewhere. So let's put this down. And I will update your key with the correct answer. And I've already done that, so I have something to look at in the end. Let's take a look. It looks like minus, doesn't it? The 2 cancels, and you're left with 5y. By the way, I just did this. I'm working on this now. The 2 canceled. You get minus sign, 5y, and then you get x to the 2/3. All right, let's keep going. Got to do the next guy. Let's do the sign first. Looks like positive, right? And let's do the letter. That's probably the easiest thing to do here. Y squared and x to the 4/3. Now I got to do the number. And it's going to be 5 times 3 times 4. I've already resolved the sign, by the way. And then you're going to get 2 times 2 times 2, which is going to be 8. 4 goes in 8 2 times, so you get 15/2. You might need a break between this. Let me get my eraser. So I need to erase that work. I get to the next guy, and it's not easy. I really mean that. It's not easy. But sign-wise, it's going to be negative. This is the fourth term. I can write down y to the third power, and then it's going to be x squared in the bottom. You know what? I'm going to write down as 4/3, though. I'm sorry, as 6/3. Now let's do the number. I've already resolved the sign, by the way. So I get 5 times 3 times 8. And then I get 8 times 6 in the bottom. Well, the 8 cancels. 3 goes into 6 2 times, so I get 5/2. All right. Got next term, right? Let's see. Well, that's a lot of work. I'm getting my eraser out, too. And let's talk about the sign. I'm looking at that 4th degree term, this one over here. It's going to be negative. What's the letter going to be? y4. And then it's going to be x to the 8/3. Let me do my number. And you're going to get 5 times 3. I've already resolved sign. 2 to the 4th. 2 to the 4th. And a 24. Well, this cancels. And this goes in 8 times. What do you get over here? 5/8. And again, this goes on forever. I'm going to multiply it. And you're going to get x to the 5/3 minus 5y. 5/3 minus 2/3 is 3/3, so just an x. All right? Let's go to the next term. Plus 15/2. I get the y squared. And you would get, let's see what you'd get there. You get x to the 1/3. Let me see if I did that right. X to the 1/3, right? 4/3. Yeah, 1/3. All right. Let's go to the next term. Minus. It's a lot of work. And we'll check the key later. I've updated your key already. Y cubed. Well, let me do the, it's going to be x to the 1/3 bottom now. And then y cubed. What's the last term going to be? 5/8. X to the 3/3 with just an x and y4 plus yada, yada, yada. All right? By the way, I'm sorry, I don't need a bracket there. Let me get the eraser out. Now, again, I want to remind you, when I put a plus sign down, I'm not saying the sign is plus there. I'm just saying there's a bunch of terms to follow. So what I'm going to do now, I want to look at the key that I've prepared for you and see if I got it right. I see that. I see this. I see 15/2 x to the 1/3 y squared. Yep. I see this. 5y cubed, 2x 1/3. And I see this, which is minus 5y cubed, 2x. Let me see if I did that right. 5y4. Yeah, I got everything. Everything is good to go. All right? By the way, they put more terms down. When I say I put more terms down there for those students that want to work it out further. Now, someone says, where's the other answer coming from? The other answer coming from, some people might have expanded it differently. And what I mean by that, I'll write it down again. I got to wake my computer up again. They might have written it down this way, which is strange to me, but it's doable. They might have written it as minus 2y plus x to the 2/3 to the 5/2. And that's fine. You can do that. Not a problem. Then they'd factor out the minus 2y. And what would they get over there? They would get 1 plus, I'm going to put this in parentheses, by the way, x to the 2/3 over minus 2y. And this is all being raised to the 5/2 power. All right? Now, granted, there is some problems over here, and certainly you might think about that, but this really depends on, if you want to use real numbers, it depends on y being a certain number to do this. But it's okay to write this down, by the way. Minus 2y to the 5 halves. And then just simply expand out this here, which is 1 plus, I'll write a little bit differently, x to the 2/3, 2y, and that's being raised to the 5 halves power. And this is another answer I put down. I expanded on that. I'm not going to go through that one. It's tough not to go through one of them. I don't want to go through two of them. But both answers are listed for you. You can use either answer. Either answer is fine. All right? Thank you.